Wait, why are you making this video?
Because I like Theorycrafting.
But what's the point? Phoenix Master 1 or Sacred Spear is just going to make a video about this that'll receive much more views than this ever will.
But they haven't yet, so let me have this, okay? Now be quiet, the video's starting. This year's CYL was weird, but that won't stop me from talking about it. Especially because my favourite finally won, so there's that too. Anyway, let's get right into it with the guy who got almost as many votes as last year's Lords, the Gatekeeper. To be honest, I don't have many high hopes for Three Houses characters after last year's Newsfest, so I wouldn't be surprised if Gatekeeper is just a Lance Infantry unit we all already know. I mean, that's definitely who we would have gotten if he hadn't won, and maybe I'm just being pessimistic. But anyway, he could also be a Brigand as a reference to the Abyss Keeper, or even get promoted and use the Sword of Seros if we never get a Rhea ult. If IS wants to give him an in-character preferred skill though, they'd have to give him a Spectrum near save, maybe with Obstruct built in for maximum memes.
That's all you have to say about him?
Well, he could also be a coloured beast I suppose, but that gets into Three Houses spoilers for some of the routes.
Still, that's all you have to say for him.
He doesn't have that many options, alright? I think the guy's super kind, but we were never supposed to see him in action.
Don't blame me when the comments lynch you.
Anyway, on to Marth. The lazy option is to just give him a super powerful falchion, just like Arm with his Draco falchion.
Boo.
But he also has some other options, namely his sister's Ohm Staff or Henri's Starlight Tome, which could be any colour other than red really, since Ice has gotten pretty lax about magic types as of late. Movement wise, he could be an infantry or a cavalier hero, since he hasn't gotten the latter treatment yet. He's likely going to wear his father's or his Lodestar outfit too. As for the women's division, again we'll start with the first place at Marianne. Unfortunately, she's another Three Houses hero, so standards are once again a rock bottom.
Boo.
Wait, where did you come from? Anyway, boo IS, not me. Our safest bet is that she'll be just a Holy Knight with one of the offensive white spells she learns. She may get Blue Gang, but that's only if she doesn't get it in her Academy form, but Annette showed us that even post-time skip weapons were up for grabs in that area. The most creative I can see IS being is if they let her ride Dorte instead of just a generic horse.
Does she have any other options?
Where did that other person go? Oh, whatever. I guess she could be a flyer, but that demands creativity on IS's part. There are also two unused weapons in Three Houses she could use. One is Riddle, which is a magic sword, while the other is Dark Blutgang, which could be a loophole for those who want Marianne to have Blutgang here, regardless of whether or not her Academy version has it as well. As for her preferred skill, it has to be based on a personal skill back home, which healed her when she was near cavalry or flyers. Maybe she could get increased stats or provide stats to them as well? If she were a cavalier or flyer herself, this could translate to a combined hone and fortify for those movement types, which could also be very interesting. And now we get to Erica. There may be some personal bias here, but I think she has the most options of the bunch.
Some personal bias or all personal bias?
We'll see. As with Marth, the lazy option would be to just give her a new Siglind, but I hope they show a bit of restraint in that regard. She could get a fancy rapier to mirror Duo Ephraim, but that also has the same problem of giving her yet another red variant when she already has 3. There's a cipher art of her dual-wielding Sigmund and Siglind that could be incredibly interesting. If they acted as a lance, it could be a dual-phase brave weapon like Altina's, but instead of distant counter, it could offer weapon triangles advantage against green units.
Maybe if she was the first place winner.
Yeah, that is way too awesome for someone in second place, huh? Well, that's a bummer. Anyway, according to Faye, she can also use magic, which opens the door to a bunch of other options. For example, there are still 2 sacred twin weapons up for grabs. Excalibur from Johanna, or Jahana, however you pronounce it, and Latona from Ralston. Using Latona would step on La Rochelle's toes, but Excalibur has no cannon wielder, or heavily implied wielder if you want to be technical, and could be either a green tome or a colourless one to differentiate from the other 4 Excaliburs in Fae already. And while it's a stretch, she could even wield the Sacred Stone itself.
Wouldn't that raise eyebrows, lore-wise?
Yes, but it could also be explained as her only using the positive aspects of the stone, which in turn would make her a light mage and open the door to every colour but red, same as with Marth and Starlight. Movement-wise, I'd prefer she not be a cavalier for the 3rd time, and in fact a flying option would be quite lovely as an homage to Tana. Her outfit could be either Renee's royal garb, similar to how Ephraim wore his father's armour, but she could also dress in Care Pellin's clothing.
What?
Care Pellin has a hero called Narakuya, who Saleh says Erika reminds him of. She wielded a falchion and defended her people in Magval's ancient past, and since Erika sees her as a role model, it would be nice to see that particular inspiration come full circle and have her fully embrace her style as well.
Wait, a falchion?
Yep, but as fun as it would be to see Erika wield a falchion instead of Marth, that's probably not going to happen. While we're on the topic though, there are some other swords Erika could wield, namely the magic swords such as a rune sword, which could also act as a subtle reference to Leon since it uses dark magic. There are also 4 secret weapons from Fire Emblem 8, the Shadow Killer, the Bright Lance, the Fiend Cleaver and the Beacon Bow that deal effective damage against monsters that could be translated to effectiveness against beasts and dragons, similar to Brave Eliwood's lance. Whatever weapon she gets though, I hope she has built-in immunity to effective damage if she's anything but an infantry hero.
Because she can't get a special skill.
Yeah, though considering this is Fire Emblem Heroes' 5th year running, which is a milestone for most franchises, and one of the second place winners is Marth of all people, I really hope IS bucks the trend and starts giving all 4 heroes preferred skills from this year onward. Erika, for example, could get her skill based on her and Ephraim's bracelets or the Sacred Stone, which could act as a mini ether whenever her special triggers, while Marth could get a stronger binding shield or something that makes him stronger the more allies there are near him, since that's sort of his thing. And there's also the incident that may or may not have happened.
What incident?
Someone last week, as of my writing the script, claimed to have botted 7,000 votes for Marianne. The jury's still out on whether they're telling the truth or not, but if they are, it means Marianne actually came second and Erika would by all rights be eligible for that special skill. If IS decides this is the case, I think they'd choose to give her a preferred skill in addition to Marianne's, instead of taking Marianne's away from her, since that would be pretty unfair to all the Marianne fans who got happy after the CYL results. But that would also leave Marth in the cold, so they probably just give him a skill as well, just to round out the roster.
Isn't that just wishful thinking?
That's true, but this is a weird situation no matter how you look at it. Who knows what could happen?
Fair enough. Do you want to end the video now?
Sure. Thank you all for watching, and please let me know in the comments what you thought of all this, and if you have any ideas of your own.
You know they could get made-up Norse weapons, right?
You're back. And yes, they can, but that's no fun for Theorycrafting. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Please take care all of you, and please consider subscribing if you liked what you saw, and sharing and liking the video to help me out. I also have a Patreon and Ko-fi if you really like this stuff. Until next time,
bye.
Sayonara.
Have a great day. You guys ruined it.